Men are mostly busy and mostly lazy, and men don't want to take care of their skincare and their looks.
Truthfully, everybody wants to be attractive. Even if they say, I don't care. Yes, you do. Don't lie.
And what's your advice for, let's say, short men?
Style and clothing and color have a dramatic impact on how you visually look.
Right now, there's a new term in the market called Sigma males.
All the emphasis has been put on having these labels, alpha, beta, sigma. I think it's ridiculous. I have been in a relationship with a woman that cheated on me. At the time, my self-esteem was so low, I actually took her back, and she did it again with the same guy.
Every fucking time I've checked the phone, I've found something.
If somebody is willing to cheat, they're trying to solve something with themselves, and it has nothing to do with you.
Is the thing in India that you got to focus on your career. Women are going to be a distraction for you. You got to stay away from them.
I would have never been successful to the degree at which I am now if I had been single.
What are some traits that men should develop and are absolutely crucial for you to be a man? Alpha M.
What's happening?
Aaron Marino.
Great to see you, brother.
Welcome to Iron Man Lifestyle.
Thank you for having me. When you reached out, I was like, absolutely. I'd love to be on the channel and the podcast. You've been doing some amazing things.
Thank you.
I really love like what you're doing with your videos, but just it's interesting, because I think you started the same reason I started, was to help guys in one way or another, feel great about themselves. You are doing that and an incredible job through the dating world, and all of your tips and advice and your videos are fantastic.
Yeah.
And so it's really inspiring to see somebody that's, newer coming up. Actually, it's not that you've been doing it for a while though.
Yeah.
How many years?
It's been, I think, 7 years now.
7 years.
7 years. Considering, even for you, you've been doing this for 17 years almost, right? 2008, you told me? 2008.
Before it was cool, at that point, it was just like cat videos and just weird things. Nobody, when I used to tell people, oh, I make YouTube videos, my wife was she's like, don't tell anybody you make videos. It was almost embarrassing. Yeah. Now, it's the cool thing, right?
Yeah.
And so it's definitely been interesting and a great ride, but it's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing that you can touch so many people's lives and really affect so many people.
True. And it's because of people like you that, when I started, I had somebody to look up to, and you paved the path that, all right, this is possible.
Yeah.
So do you know how big of a following you have in India as well?
I don't.
No. Have you checked your analytics?
I checked it's number 2. Yeah. It's number 2.
Yeah. So everybody knows you out there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and today we're going to break down who Alpha M is. We're going to understand what is it that you stand for and just get to know you better.
I would love it.
Because all I see is
a guy yelling. Yeah, the guy yelling with the pointy ears yelling at the camera. I get it.
Yeah. So firstly, what's Alpha M? What does it stand for? Let's just get started from the point of when you came up with the name and what were you thinking about it? Has it evolved over time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the whole name, Alpha M, started because I used to have a fitness center. Okay. And that was my dream from the age of 12 years old was to own a gym. And long story short, I did it, but it didn't work and it failed. Bad. Okay. I was broke. I filed bankruptcy. Yeah. I was driving a little beer cart, which is basically this little cart at a golf course just to make ends meet. And I didn't know what to do next. My only dream from the age of 12 was basically to own a fitness center.
Yep.
And so when that was taken away from me, it wasn't that I was broke or poor, because I grew up very, very blue collar, not having a lot of money. My family was on government assistance, welfare. And so it wasn't that I was broke. That wasn't the hard thing. The hard thing was I didn't know what to do next. I didn't have a North Star. And I truly feel as we as men sort of age and mature, it's super important to know where you're going or where you want to get to. Yeah. Because if not, you're just going to flounder around and you're going to run around. And so, long story short, one of the things that I had done while I had my fitness center was help this guy get dressed for a date. Yeah. Basically, he came to me one day and I was his trainer. And he said, hey, I've got a date tonight. I don't know what to do. Yeah. And so I said, all right, well, why don't we go to your house and we'll take a look to see what you have in terms of style. And we'll go shopping. And by the way, you've got crazy nose hair and we got to go get your hair cut and you're a mess. And so long story short, we did that. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. And then he went back to work and his female coworker said, hey, Steve, you look great. What happened? And he goes, I know a guy. I got a guy. And so she's like, well, he helped my husband. And that was kind of the light bulb moment when it was maybe there's a business in this. And so when my fitness center failed, it was 2006. And I thought, what's next? And I thought maybe there's something in terms of a business of me helping other just regular guys dress to look better and to feel great about themselves. And so I thought, okay, if I'm going to do that and basically be like an image consultant, I need a name. What's a name that signifies like male or masculine without being like too over the top, like king of the jungle, you know? And so I thought alpha male. Nah, what about alpha M?
Yeah.
M stands for male. It's a little bit more stylized and it's a little bit, you know, just kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so that's how it started. And so that was the name. And so in 2008, I thought, you know what? Maybe actually the truth of the matter is that my wife gave me a video camera for Christmas because she didn't know what to get me. And it sat in the box. I'm like, what is this? I thought that she wanted to like film ourselves like getting sexy. That was not the case. And so in 2008, I thought, you know what? I've got this video camera. I'm starting this new business. Maybe there's a world that people are interested in learning about basic style and grooming. And so it was early days. I think YouTube started in 2005 or 6.
Yeah.
And so I was in 2008, super early, super new. And at the time, there were really just like cat videos and weird videos, and people were just like sharing little random things.
Yeah.
And so I decided I was going to try to learn how to use this video camera and make some videos about style. And so I got the video camera out. I, you know, went to the store. I bought some like suit jackets that were really like too big for me. And I had a big like tie knot. And I'm like, here I am. I'm Aaron Marino from Alpha M Image Consulting. And I want to talk about men's style. This was 2008. And it was from that point that everything in my life changed. And it was, I remember the second video I did. It was on the first video, I got a comment. I'm a bigger guy. What should I wear?
Yeah.
And it was at that point that I felt validated. It was at that point that I felt like my opinion mattered to somebody. And I really think that for me, my entire life, I had been struggling just with self-esteem and feeling good enough and worthy because I grew up, you know, kind of poor and I just didn't have, you know, great role models around me. And so my self-esteem was not super great. And so that was the point at which I kind of almost like found my voice. And from that moment, it was off to the races, and I never looked back. I was like, I found where I should be. I'm going to keep making videos. I'm going to answer a friend's question. And that was, you know, that was like 15, 16, 17 years ago. Yeah. And so that's how it all came to be. Yeah.
Like one of the pioneers with that, with YouTube. So thank you for that. You paved the way for people like me back home, you know, and a lot of others. So that's how you started.
Yes.
If we were to talk about the core tenets of Alpha M, like let's say the channel or the core tenets that you live by or the things that you teach people, what would those be?
Yeah, and that was one of the earlier videos that I did. I realized that there are people looking to me for sort of like guidance and advice.
Yeah.
And I really feel like it was this like legion or world of young men who just didn't know really where they fit. And so one of the earlier videos was what it means to be alpha. And so alpha, when you think of alpha, you think of somebody who's 6'2", 250 pounds, of twisted steel and sex appeal that's just like jacked and like he walks into a room and like panties just drop. Well, that's not me. All right.
Neither is it me.
No, right? Exactly. That's not most guys.
That's not most guys.
And so really, you know, whether or not you're gay, you're straight, you're whatever, for me, it was always about be a good person, do the best job you can, treat people with respect, courtesy, and find what makes you happy and treat people with dignity. And so really for me, it was about just really finding who you are as a person. If you can figure out who you are and be comfortable in your own skin and not put on an act or put on this big show, that is one of the most beautiful things I think that you could possibly obtain in life is just to know who you are and know who you're not. Because I really feel in today's world of social media and everybody's trying to be something and show that there's something, when you're truly authentic and you truly believe and you know the value that you bring to the world and you don't have to bullshit anybody, like that's a beautiful thing. And that is honestly the core of what makes, I feel, somebody confident. And that in and of itself, if there was a word, confidence is what Alpha M is all about. Right. Whatever that means, like how you get it, whether or not it's style, whether or not it's grooming, whether or not it's your hair, whether or not it's, you know, talking to girls or having the best, you know, line or being able to communicate properly. It's about confidence. Now, the one thing I just need to clarify is confidence doesn't mean like once you, and that's the other thing. Sorry, I'm talking a lot. Is that okay?
Go for it.
All right.
I love it.
So one of the problems that people think, oh, confidence is like this destination that you get to. Like once you do X, Y, and Z, you're a confident man.
Yeah.
Well, confidence is specific. Not like you can be a confident man just generally knowing that you're a good person, that you believe in your worth and your value. But you might be insecure or feel a little bit weird in different situations or scenarios.
True.
Maybe you're a super confident guy, but when it comes to approaching a girl in a restaurant or a bar, you see somebody who's beautiful, you might not
It's
be.
difficult.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or me, if you say, like, I'm a confident dude, but if you tell me I've got to sing the Star Spangled Banner or some like song, I'm going to be super insecure. And really, I think that's the thing. You can still have, and everybody has insecurities.
True.
You know, but the beautiful thing is that they're invisible. Nobody can see them. And it's you not allowing them to basically rule or take over your mind and sort of your actions. And so for me, really, you know, Alpha M is, I just want guys to feel good about themselves. However way that happens, it doesn't matter. I want you to feel confident. I want you to be a good person. I want you to treat people with respect. And in turn, I feel like it's going to come back to you. I do believe in karma. I believe in, you know, you get back what you put out there in the world. And I have been very fortunate that I have received a lot of incredible things as a result of me being willing to help other people.
Yeah, yeah. So let's say somebody in his early 20s,
Yep.
right? And he needs to know who he is, right? He needs to be very sure of
Yep.
who he is, and he needs to find his voice. But then again, that would involve him doing a lot of things so that he can come to that conclusion that this is who I am.
Yeah.
Considering, let's say in my early 20s, we're not even sure who we are as a person.
How old are you now?
I'm 32 now.
32, you're an old man.
Yeah, yeah. Now we both are.
I'm really old, but go on.
Yeah. So for me to come to a point where I'm really sure about myself, one is trying out different things, seeing what sticks, seeing what I like, and then doing it on a longer horizon. And of course, it doesn't always stay easy. Even if you love it on a long horizon, it gets difficult. The second thing is, let's say you're in your teenage years, 19, 20, 21. By that time, all of your life is just what has been given to you or has happened to you, which could be your parents, your childhood upbringing, your traumas, the people you grew up with, the culture you grew up with. So for somebody to understand in his early 20s who he is, it's pretty difficult for him to, you know, really find out.
I don't, and that's the reason why I don't think anybody should get married before 30.
Yeah.
No, but you're 100.
You got married before 30,
No,
right?
I didn't. No.
How old
Wait,
are you?
how was I? How old was I? 2006 is when I got married. So
Okay.
I was probably like 29 or something.
29, yeah.
Anyway.
I was 16 at that time.
Yeah, well, let's not prove that I'm old. So no, you're 100% right. You know, when you're growing up, you're a mess. You're trying to figure out who you are. You're getting, you know, basically you are, you know, you're around the people and you know, where you're from has a dramatic impact on who you are and how you develop. You know, not only, you know, mentality, you know, it's your belief structure. It's, you know, how you feel about yourself. It's what you learn. And as you age, as you get older, it's 100% about experience.
Correct.
It's also about failure. And I truly feel like that's one of the things. When you grow up and things are easy, you're never truly challenged. I personally believe that when you grow up and you have to struggle, whether or not it's you're struggling financially or you're struggling in some other way, it builds character, it builds toughness, it builds mental strength. Or it builds somebody who is weak and is going to allow their circumstances to basically dictate the fact that they're never going to achieve anything. They have a victim mentality. If you can overcome and decide that you are going to be successful or you're going to be happy despite the things that have happened, this is something, once again, that's super powerful. But yeah, as you age in your 20s, this is when you should be trying and testing and learning and failing. And that's the thing. And it's very cliche to say, but if you're not failing, it means you're really not trying that hard. You've got to get up and you've got to basically have these life experiences that challenge you, but also bring you to your knees. But you got to get back up and try something else because eventually you will figure it out.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see that, you know, when you were 29 when you got married, right? And then you were 31, that's when you started Alpha M. So you reinvented yourself completely. And for your wife to take a bet on you, right, that you're not as stable, you might not be able to provide. There's always that risk at the point in time. How's the relationship and what's going on between her and you at that time? And
that was very interesting. Very interesting. When I met my wife, I was making $24,000 a year. And, you know, in the U.S., that's not very much. It's very, very not a lot. And she had a really good job. She was making good money. She drove a nice car. I owned a business, and that was something that was, sexy and cool. But she came into the picture when things started to go down for me professionally. Personally, it was great. I met my wife. She was amazing. And this is a very sweet story, but because I was at the time in 2006, I had to put some food on the table, and I had to make a little bit of money. While I had this business that was failing, I went and drove that beer cart at a golf course because she wanted to be with me. Even though she had a good job, she decided, okay, I'm going to go do that as well on the weekends just so I could be with you. And so that was one of the hardest things for me back then, was feeling like I was a loser and feeling like I wasn't good enough for this woman that I wanted to be, with. And so she took a bet. She didn't understand YouTube. When my business failed, she saw how devastating it was for me, but she believed in my potential. She just didn't know what that potential was. And so, she stuck by me even when things weren't good. Very bad. When she was with me when things were the worst.
And it was like that time where she would be contributing more to the household resources than you, right?
She paid for our entire wedding.
The entire wedding?
Entire wedding.
Crazy.
And she saved, and I mean, granted, I was contributing to the household at that point, but, when we ended up getting married, she bought herself like a rental unit, a rental house. We fixed it up. I helped her fix it up, and then she sold it, and she used the proceeds from that. And we used that to pay for our wedding. And so,
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful story. Yeah. So...
then eventually I figured it out.
Yeah.
So that's the good news.
I hear that. And then I hear the narrative today and the landscape today, which is, let's say that one, it's a bunch of things. Every time you talk, I'm just thinking so many things. I'm trying to not interrupt you every time. So one is, people are in that thing that you should only start dating someone after you've made it. So which might be a long time. And by listening to your story, I feel that that's not true. It's like if you are with someone, it just makes the struggle much better. So what would you recommend, like a young man? Because it's the thing in India that you got to focus on your career. Women are going to be a distraction for you. You got to stay away from them. What's your take on that?
I think that is... So it's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
Because I would give somebody the advice, you should focus on your career. You should focus on being successful. You should focus on figuring out who you are and also dealing with your emotional baggage.
True.
And that's something that I don't think gets talked about enough when it comes to men, is doing the deep work and really figuring out, are there things that you're bringing with you? Because for me, I came from, so I had some abusive stepfathers. I had some bad relationships when I was younger. And a lot of the times, if you don't deal with this issue it's going to perpetuate itself in future relationships. And your new relationship is almost going to have to pay for the sins of your past relationship, which is one of the most self-destructive and relationship-destructive things out there. And so I think as long as you have a goal, if you have something that you're working for and striving for, I think it's absolutely fine to start looking for somebody. Because I can tell you something, I would have never been successful to the degree at which I am now if I had been single. And I'll tell you why. Because when you're single, you are so focused and thinking about dating, about women, about sex, about all these things.
100%.
That it occupies so much of your bandwidth and so much of your brainwave, right? But because I knew, hey, I've got a beautiful wife at home. She's taking care of this. I don't have to date. I don't have to chase. I don't have to think about the internet and dating and all that. I was able to focus. And I was able to focus on the things that really moved the needle and mattered. And so I think it's tricky. I think that there is no one-size-fits-all solution. I think everybody is different. But I can say that if you can't take somebody out on a date, you probably shouldn't be dating. You need to at least have your shit together enough so that you're bringing something to the table. And that's really what it is. It's about everybody is bringing something different to the table. And if you are a man, what do you have to offer? You might be the greatest guy in the world, but if you are sitting at home playing video games all day, or you don't have a career goal or something that you're striving for, or the ability to work hard, or you don't have a good work ethic, then why should you waste anybody's time? Because eventually, even if you're super handsome or good looking or you've got the best line or a big wiener, it doesn't matter. She's going to get bored. She's going to get tired.
Yeah.
And she's going to look for somebody that has more stability and is more of an equal in terms of somebody who is going out and going after what they want in life.
Right. So let's say, when
Did I answer your question? I didn't even answer the question.
Sort of. We'll get to it. Yeah. So when I was in college, I was broke. Right.
Yep.
I would take the bus to college. I'd come back. And there were all these beautiful women around who came from a lot of money, higher socioeconomic status. And my first girlfriend, she came from a much richer household. And in India, your parents pay for everything. You stay with your parents. Otherwise, they just pay for everything.
Yeah.
Right. So when we started dating, I felt the same. I had the same insecurities that, she's richer than me. She comes from a better family. And I'm not doing anything. I'm in the second year of my college.
Yeah.
But I never faced the judgment as in she never made me feel like I don't have enough money. There were times where, I got angry with her that we're not going out to eat today because I just can't.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are you getting so angry? And I couldn't tell her that I didn't have the money because it was hitting my ego real hard.
Sure.
So then this one day I did tell her that, baby, you can afford all that. I can't. I'm fine eating at home. My mom or my maid at the house is going to cook. I'm fine eating the food. So I don't want to go out. And she's like, honestly, you could have just told me that. And it just felt like a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
So from that time when my mind changed, all of the women I've dated, I feel they, at least in the early 20s, when you're 30, then you got to have something to show for sure. But in your 20s, I think if you have potential, you have a goal that you're striving towards, women are more willing to take a bet on you. And they'll be more supportive in the way that your wife is so supportive of you.
Absolutely.
Right. But if you're let's say 35 and now you're struggling, it'll be what were you doing for the last 15 years?
Correct.
Yeah. So for me, I've had beautiful relationships with women post-college. Before that, same broken home, stepmother, all of that. Had my fuckboy years, just, chasing women, as you said.
Yeah.
And that would take up so much time.
Yeah.
Now, since the past 3 years, I've been in a steady relationship. And I have so much time to focus on things.
Yeah.
I have so much time to, take trips and just think about work and not those things. So it's been very helpful for me. So I think what you're trying to say is have a goal. Strive towards it. If something takes it away, it's not worth it. But if she can come in support of that, then
there is no, and here's the thing, there's no such thing as perfect timing, right? With anything, whether or not it's starting a YouTube channel or a business or a relationship.
Yeah.
If you think, okay, once I have this, then I'm going to be ready to date. And then once I have this, then I'm going to be ready. And if I had that, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Focus on you, focus on doing whatever you want. But also, if you are somebody that wants to date, enjoy yourself, go out and meet people, and you may find that person that is supposed to be, or that you're supposed to be with, and everything's going to be great. And so, there is no one size fits all solution, and there is no such thing as perfect timing. If you meet the one, you meet the one.
Yeah. And it just makes the journey much more easier and smoother to go with when you have someone with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When we hear about relationships like these, it's beautiful. But somebody who hasn't had a relationship with a female partner like this, or they've had women who've cheated on them, or they've had the relationship that they've seen with their parents is bad. So they feel that's going to happen with them. And that has brought out the narrative today of that women are evil and the red pill and you got to stay away from them and they're going to distract you. They're going to take half your shit.
Yeah.
But then I hear you completely different. And where you are right now is...
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you're so worried about the negative and the worst case scenario, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you manifest it. The truth is, there is no, women aren't evil, men aren't bad. And that's one of the things that unfortunately has happened is somebody got their feelings hurt and decided, or got cheated on or whatever it is. And that automatically changed the narrative. And it's a lot easier in our society to blame others as opposed to accepting responsibility.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I have been in a relationship with a woman that cheated on me.
Yeah.
And at the time, my self-esteem was so low, I actually took her back, and she did it again with the same guy. It was her ex-boyfriend. And this did so much damage to me. And it's something that thought, and it also affected my self-esteem. I thought it was something that I did or didn't do, or it's because I didn't satisfy her in some way, when the reality is cheating is a symptom of a bigger issue. If somebody is willing to cheat or has that mentality, they're trying to solve something with themselves, and it has nothing to do with you, your inability to please her or satisfy her or whatever it may be. It's because she is dealing with something, and it doesn't matter how much you love her. It doesn't matter how much you have sex with her. It doesn't matter how much money you have. She is going to fulfill that need or that desire because she hasn't dealt with the issues that she's struggling with. Yeah. And I feel like men, the same thing happens. You know, I think there is a tendency in today's world to kind of think the grass is greener. Have you heard that term, the grass is greener, right? You're always thinking, oh, there's something better right around the corner, or I'm not really sad. So what happens is you lack commitment and you don't actually focus on this relationship. Yeah. And when you go into a relationship and you're sort of hesitating, or you're half-assing it, or you're allowing yourself to think maybe there's something better, it's never going to work with this person because you're going to self-sabotage. And I think that we get into this mindset so often where, you know, we self-sabotage. And now with social media, there's so much stimulation and so much awareness and so many women and so much coming at you all the time is very bad for your mentality and also just your ability to commit. You know, commitment means that you're eliminating other options and you're going to focus. And maybe it doesn't work out. That's fine. And maybe it breaks up, and maybe it isn't an amazing relationship, but fine. You've got to give it the chance. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you commit yourself to this person. Yeah. So, I mean, the red pill community is ridiculous. Yeah. You know, women are not the problem. Men are not the problem. You know, it's all about mentality, and like I said, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. But this whole community of red pill, I don't have any time for that. Yeah, true. So with regards to cheating, it's very interesting when you said that it has nothing to do with you. So there's one thing we talk about in dating called frame control, which is the lens at which, you know, you view the world at. So if I believe that I'm the shit and I'm cool and I live life like that, versus I feel I have low self-esteem and my frame is that, all right, you're above me. So when you pedestalize the girl, so there was one person I was talking to, right? And this will illustrate the point better. So he called me up, and this was 5 years back, and I was talking to him on the phone, and one guy who would just follow me, right? And he was crying on the phone, and he told me that, bro, my girlfriend is, I think, cheating on me, and he would again and again go back to her, and she would hit him, physically assault him. Yeah. And at that time, I was new in my career. I couldn't understand. I was like, how can a girl hit you, bro? Like, come on. But she was so frustrated and annoyed with him that she would hit him. And she would bring guys home into their house, and he would still tolerate that. So, I mean, when we say there's a lot to, you know, that it's always the other person's fault. But in this case, I mean, this guy had a lot of unresolved issues as well. So like, the blame has to be shared. It's not just one person or the other. I feel this person had to, one, have clearer boundaries and make sure that, you know, when he's putting himself out there, it does not have to be that when people are treating him like that, he's allowing that to happen. And he needs to get stronger, or at the same time, he needs to work on his assertiveness. He needs to work on his confidence. He needs to work on the way he's talking. She obviously doesn't respect him. She doesn't respect him. So she doesn't respect him, and so that's the reason why she hits him. That's the reason why she cheats on him. That's the reason why she brings people home to their house. Like, there's a respect. And he's all cool with why? It. So why does she not respect him? That's my question. Yeah. And you know, we teach people how to treat us and how we allow people to treat us. And so respect is something that is not guaranteed. It's something that you earn. It's also something that you earn and then keep through your consistent actions. And so I'm thinking, yes, she was a horrible person for doing all these things. But it obviously was not the right scenario or situation with two of them. But why didn't she respect him? She obviously met him and fell in love with him for some reason, but then along the way, something happened that changed her mind or her opinion of him. So I don't know what that was. I think the man lost respect. Because if you don't respect yourself, your self-esteem is down. Other people are going to treat you the way. So it's like whatever you allow to happen, or whatever your standards are, that's what you're going to get. Yeah. So if my standard is I'm fine being beaten up by women,
or like I'm fine being cheated upon.
No,
That's what's going to happen.
100%.
With me.
And that's the reason why you see a lot of like women that are in abusive relationships, they gravitate towards other abusers in other relationships because it's subconsciously what they're used to and what's comfortable for them.
Yeah.
And so, you get cheated on, there's a problem. There's a fundamental problem with the relationship, and it's probably something that needs to be not even explored. Once trust is lost or broken, it is very difficult to get back. I don't even know if you can get it back. And so, if somebody's looking through your phone, if somebody's, hacking into your accounts, this is not normal.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have privacy and to have boundaries. And I think that's one of the things that I think a lot of guys and women especially don't realize, that it's not normal to have somebody checking up on you. I mean, obviously something.
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm very gray in these areas, very gray. Like when you said about the cheating, I believe 100%. It's not 100%. I think if somebody's cheating on me and everything was fine, cool, it's the other person's fault. But there might be something I might be doing wrong, right?
Okay.
Maybe I could have paid a bit more attention. Maybe I could have done something. Right?
Maybe.
So I can take that as a lesson, and I move forward. And that comes from the fact that I don't want to be...
But do you take her back?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Because why?
Because self-respect.
Yeah, self-respect, and you never will trust her. And if she does it once, chances are she'll do it again. And same thing goes for men. 100%. Men do the same thing. I know guys that are married, that are scumbags, and they go out and they cheat on their wives. They've got a family at home. It's like, hey, if you are interested in going out and sleeping with as many people as possible, do it. But don't do it at the detriment to the person that thinks that you're being faithful.
True.
That's the thing that I just don't have any time or respect for whatsoever. You want to go and sleep with 6,000 women, go and do it. But be honest about it, and don't do things that are potentially going to and the other thing is, there's nothing worse than feeling like a fool or like you've been lied to. That in and of itself is one of the most embarrassing things, or that other people knew that didn't tell. Like it's a very, very, very.
I remember that time when there's this one guy who knew that I was being cheated upon and he didn't tell me. I was so pissed. But that makes sense. So I'm in a very like a gray kind of zone with most of these.
Okay,
things,
you're gray, and the truth is there is. Most of the time...
a lot of nuance, right?
Well, no, gray is when you grow up, and that's one of the other things, things are very black and white. But the truth is, and this goes for politics, this goes for relationships, this goes for life.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it isn't black or white. There is some degree of gray, or it falls in the gray area. And so you're saying that it's gray. Maybe I could have, told her she's pretty.
Something, something I could have done. And then of course,
Yep.
I feel what you're saying is like if like there's no reason why you should be cheating on someone.
Yep.
If you're not in it, it's better you break up and you keep it clear.
Yeah,
Don't be in that.
The other thing is, if you're feeling compelled to cheat, then this person probably isn't the long-term play for you.
Yeah.
And you're going to be happier, possibly better suited with somebody else, maybe, or maybe once again, you're dealing with some issues and you've got some deep work to do.
I know. Anytime I cheated on anyone, it was just because I had a lot of my issues. It did not have anything to do with them.
Oh, I had a girlfriend I cheated on all the time.
Yeah.
I was a piece of shit, though. I shouldn't have done it.
I know.
Like,
I was
looking
a piece
back,
of shit myself.
Yeah, looking back, like I can say, I was a piece of shit because I should not have done that.
True.
And it was primarily, and it was the girlfriend that cheated on me. And I was, it's like, okay, well, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to do that. And it was this really super dysfunctional situation.
Yeah. But then we were kids as well. So
we were kids. We'll chalk it up to that.
We'll chalk it up to that. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about checking phones, though.
Okay.
I think it's a violation of privacy. You should not check phones.
Correct. I agree. 100%. But
every time I've checked the phone,
there's been something wrong?
Every time. Every fucking time I've checked the phone, I've found something.
Typically, and here's the thing I will say about that. Intuition is one thing, right?
Yeah.
If there's something that seems off or somebody's behavior changes or something's just weird.
That's when I've done it.
Yeah, there's something going on. Yeah. But it's the guy, what I'm talking about is when you don't have any, and this is what I mean by, you haven't dealt with issues and you're allowing your past relationships or situations to perpetuate, or you're pulling it forward into your new relationship.
Yeah.
And so, checking phones, I read
You
my
checked the phone
ex-girl.
as well?
No, I've never checked I've never checked the phone
Why?
because I trust my wife.
No, not your wife. Like early back in the day.
Back in the day, this is when I was dating. It was really before like cell
Yeah.
phones were a big thing.
Okay.
So I mean, when you think about it, when did like cell phones? I think I got my first cell phone and like, I mean, it was a long time ago. And so
I got mine in 2008.
yeah. Well, and I'm
2007,
gonna say phone. I'm also gonna say Instagram. I'm gonna say Facebook. I'm gonna say any personal private platform. But I read a journal once,
Okay.
and it was the worst thing I ever did.
Okay.
And so, because it was not good. But yeah, no, I don't think you should check that stuff.
I know.
But every time you have,
Every time I have something's come up. But this has also been with most of the relationships where I haven't been very serious with them.
Yeah.
I've just been. It's like
dating in today's world is very different than dating when I was dating.
Yeah.
Because I mean, with technology, with the way that people interact, the way that everybody is so thirsty for attention, people were hungry for attention back when I was dating. But I mean, I'm almost 50 years old, and so
Okay.
like that's a long time ago. And so now it's very different. I don't know how you guys.
How old did you say you were?
I'm 48.
Damn.
I know. I look good though.
Yeah. So, and that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you. How has dating changed over the years with the advent of technology, Instagram, online dating, with the advent of OnlyFans, a lot of porn being propagated here and there? What do you think has been the impact? Is it for the good, for the bad?
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's all bad. I think it's all bad.
Tell me more about it.
Okay, yeah. So gray area.
How is it in the grandpa days?
In the grandpa days, here's the thing. You know dopamine, right? It's a real
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Now everything literally is at your fingertips with your phone. And it's so much of it. In the old days, if you wanted to look at porn, you had to go to the store. You had to
Yeah.
buy a magazine. You had to go and like dig through your stepfather's drawer to find like an old porn tape. Like it was like you had to really go into and make effort in order to do that. Now,
Yeah. It's like that.
exactly. And so that you also used your imagination a lot more back in the day.
Yeah.
The fact that people are having so much more casual sex and it's become such not a big deal, I think that's a bad thing.
But people would be having casual sex back in the day.
Back in the day, of course they did, but you weren't able to just swipe and hook up. It has become a lot more prevalent. A lot of these young people, even in like high school, are not in relationships. They're just sleeping with everybody. They all just sleep together. Casual sex has become a bigger thing. And I think there's a downside to it because, I don't believe, and I'm not somebody who doesn't believe that you should not have sex before marriage or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you should treat it with more respect and not just, like you're masturbating just with somebody else. Like I think there's once you actually have a relationship with somebody that you love and everything does get better.
Yeah.
So anyway. True. Makes sense. But yeah, I don't think it's good. I think it's bad. I think it's gotten, I feel like an old man when I say that. I don't know how people do it today. I mean, I know how they do it. It's a lot easier, but yeah, I would never date somebody who's on the internet ever. Like in terms of like a YouTuber or somebody who's making their living or a career on social media, I wouldn't do it because I know the emotional toll it takes. Yeah. Horrible.
That's crazy. And both of us are YouTubers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would never date a YouTuber. Never.
We've got you've got double standards.
No. Yeah. Oh, 100% double 100%. Standards. Yes.
Yeah. So your channel is Alpha M.
Yeah.
Right now there's a new term in the market called Sigma males. Yeah. So has that changed anything for you? What is that? Have you heard about it?
I've heard about Sigma males. I've heard about, there's Alpha, Sigma, Beta. There's all sorts of different.
Omega, Delta.
Yeah, exactly. And basically, they were looking for, everybody likes to feel like they belong to a specific group and that's the thing that, once again, it's not black and white, right? Alpha, I think, is in today's world doesn't just mean that you've got to look a certain way or you've got to act a certain way. You've got to have some soft skills in order to really, truly be not dominant, but just successful at life. You need to be able to be empathetic. You need to be able to communicate really well. You need to be able to just have a lot of these things that in the old days, our grandfathers were much more stoic and they didn't have to be as in touch with themselves emotionally like you do
Right.
now. Now, the Sigma male is kind of like the soft version of the alpha male
Yeah.
that is a little bit more, in touch with their more, not necessarily feminine side, but they're more in touch with, they're not as stoic, and they're not as,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Sigma males want to be stoic, and they talk about a lot of, the definition that you gave of the alpha male.
It's more of the Sigma male.
Yeah, the definition of what people think an alpha male is. Really tall, jacked up dude.
Yep.
Keeps to himself, is introverted and shy, is what a Sigma male is. But somewhere deep down there, I feel it's because they're shy and introverted, and it's difficult for them to strike up a conversation with people. So it's better to just, it's a case of sour grapes. It's sour grapes, so I'm a Sigma, so I'm just going to get jagged and I'll just stay in my thing. We'll wait for everybody else to come to me.
I think it's silly. I think it's absolutely silly to, all the emphasis that's been put on having these labels, alpha, beta, sigma. I think it's ridiculous. I think that if you are not confident, and here's the thing. I mean, there are behaviors that men can exhibit that make them look weak, that make them look submissive, that make them not look super great, or really are, kind of like there's the high value, low value. There's all sorts of names and things about basically you're either confident and competent or you're not. And so, black or white, or maybe that's gray. I don't know. But yes, I agree. I think it's ridiculous, all the names and labels, honestly.
Yeah, it's just that you have a name as Alpha M.
And honestly, I think that's one of the things that's hurting me in today's world, because alpha has become almost like a negative.
Yeah, it has.
It's become super negative. Like when people go, they think alpha, they think, asshole, they think, this red pill. They think when you hear, alpha, you think red pill. So it's my mistake, my bad. When I started in 2008, it wasn't a bad word.
Yeah, that's not what it meant. So now in today's world, what do you think are the most important things for a man, let's say when it comes to looks? And we'll go into that direction now.
Yeah. So here's the deal. You need to pay attention.
Okay.
It has never been more competitive out there in the universe in terms of we're competing every single day for affection from women or men or whatever you're into. We are competing for career. We are competing for money. We are competing for friends. We are competing. And we have never been a more visual society than we are right now. I mean, everything that we're doing is basically FaceTime. It's on we're posting pictures. It's a very visual thing. And you need every advantage over your competition that you can possibly get. And so, basic things. Take care of your style. What is it? If you dress sloppy, if you dress like shit, nobody's going to pay attention. You take two people equally qualified for dating, equally qualified for getting hired in terms of a job. One person pays attention to their clothing, that dresses well, that isn't all disheveled and a mess, and wearing clothing that actually fits their body, versus somebody who doesn't. This guy always, 100% of the time, gets the girl, gets the job. Grooming, you can't be a savage. You got to take care of your oral hygiene. You got to make sure that your hair is straight. You can't have crazy nose hair. If you're going to have a beard, don't be all sloppy and crazy. You've got to pay attention. And the beautiful thing is that it doesn't take a whole lot of work and effort. And that's one of the things that I hear from people that drives me crazy over the years is, well, it just takes a lot of work. No, it doesn't. It doesn't take a lot of work. It takes you paying attention and doing the little things on a daily basis to make sure the way that you're perceived is the way that you want to be received. Image is one of those things. It doesn't matter what you think it is. It's what other people think it is. Yeah. And so if you want to be respected, if you want to be revered, you've got to pay attention. If you are dressed well, if you're well-groomed, you're going to be respected. People are going to think you're more attractive. People are going to appreciate what you have to say more, and they're going to trust you. They're going to hire you more. They're going to date you more. You are going to get more out of life. You're going to have more opportunities than the guy that just doesn't care.
Yeah. True. So
true.
So if it's two things. One, we're busy. Two, we're lazy.
Who?
Men.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
No, men. Men are mostly busy and mostly lazy, and men don't want to take care of their skincare and their looks and everything. So you said you just got to pay attention. It does not take a whole lot of time.
I don't know that that's true. Okay. I'm going to say that guys now more than ever realize that they do need to start taking care of themselves. A lot of them don't know what to do, or the thought of starting is a little bit overwhelming because it's like, what should I wear? I don't know what to wear on a date. Or, okay, what hairstyle is going to be best for me? I think every guy, truthfully, everybody wants to be attractive.
Yes.
Even if they say, I don't care. Yes, you do. Don't lie. You want to be attractive. We are, like, if a dog humps my leg, I'm pumped. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome, right? We want to feel attractive. And if you look in the mirror and you are not happy with your appearance or the way that you look, you can do something about it. The beautiful thing about style and grooming is that you have 100% control over it.
Yeah.
You don't have 100% control of how tall you are or, how big certain body parts are.
Yeah.
But style and grooming are like the big equalizer, because you can take a guy that's short, dress him well, groom him well, and he's going to look taller, he's going to look more athletic, he's going to look more attractive. You can minimize perceived negatives, you can maximize and enhance your natural, good features. And so I think people do care, they just don't know where to start.
So where should we start? What is the lazy man's guide to Alpha M, let's say?
Lazy man's guide to Alpha M.
Yeah. Or by Alpha M.
Okay, so number one is go to the gym, start working out.
100. That'll be number one.
Number one, that is the one decision that I made when I was
Yeah.
12 years old that changed my life. Take care of yourself. It's not just about what it does for your body. It's what it does for your mind. It's what it does for your spirit. It's what it does for your soul. All right, start there.
Yeah, I'm happy I'm meeting you when I'm like in the
You're
best
jacked.
shape,
Look
best
at
shape
that.
of
Exactly.
my life.
Exactly. Amazing.
I was like, if had I met you like 5 years back, I'd be like, oh my god, I'm
Oh,
embarrassed
no.
now.
Start working out. It'll change your life. All right, take that off the table. Now,
Okay.
what do you do? All right, style is not that complicated. You've got to just invest in the right pieces. Go to a store, all right, a department store or something. Start at the feet and work up. Get a pair of nice shoes. Get a pair of nice jeans that fit you well. Get a pair of nice pants. Get a shirt that fits you. I mean,
So what would be a fit be? Are we talking skinny, slim, regular, oversized?
depends on your body type.
Okay.
It depends on your body type, and it depends on the aesthetic that you're going for.
Right.
If you're a young guy and you're super cool, you can get away with some of the more trendy things like the bigger, baggier clothing, right? It's a big trend, but
That's what I wear. Like my luggage is full of that.
big baggy clothing,
Yeah.
like oversized shirts and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's
So-
on purpose.
Yes.
It's not just wearing shit that doesn't fit you.
No. It's a specific type of a t-shirt. So, and here's the thing about oversized clothing, right? I came to New York. I went to London, Europe. Everybody wears the clothes that you and I wear, right? That we're wearing right now. And like 4 years back, I would wear more slim fit, more fitted stuff, slim fitted pants and everything, chinos.
Yep.
But in India now, the past 3 years, style has changed. So if you're let's say if you want to belong in the higher status and everything, you will see more men wearing oversized clothing and sneakers and Jordans and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So it has just changed completely.
Yeah.
And then I've got my bag full of oversized clothing and I'm out here and now that I'm here, I got to switch between the two to see where I'm going and who I'm meeting.
Yeah.
So by purpose, I have to see, like, if I'm meeting you or if I'm going for a meeting, it's better I dress like this. If I'm going for, let's say, a hip-hop party, I need to be more in oversized clothing
Absolutely.
and sneakers.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, so it really depends on the situation that you're in and the look and the aesthetic that you're going for in
Yeah.
terms of style. Same thing with grooming. It really depends. I personally think every guy looks better with facial hair. It's kind of
Okay.
like the female equivalent or the male equivalent to makeup, right? Women, they throw on a little smoky eye, a little
Yeah.
mascara, lipstick, and boom, you can take like a 5 and turn them into like a 9.
Yeah.
A beard does the same thing for a guy.
Yeah. You get a jawline with the beard.
Oh yeah,
right?
you can have a weak jaw. You trim it right, you're gonna be off to the races. You look
Yeah.
like a sex machine. But yes, and so going and going through your wardrobe. I mean, it starts there. First off, I would recommend you purge your wardrobe. If you've got a bunch of stuff that you
Yeah.
don't wear, or a bunch of stuff that you've had for years, or you don't like, get rid of it. Donate it to charity, or do something with it. Give it to a friend. Give it to your little brother, because it's impossible to really operate a wardrobe effectively and efficiently if you've got a bunch of crap that you don't use, all right? And then start with the basics. There's some basic things that every guy needs. You need a nice pair of jeans that fits you well, that's
Yeah.
not overly distressed. You need a pair of sneakers that aren't, or shoes that you can wear, casually, but aren't running shoes or athletic sneakers.
Yeah.
You need a pair of dress shoes that you can wear with jeans or chinos or a suit. You need a good suit. These are little basic things, and the other thing is, if you don't know where to start or you're not sure and you've got a stylish friend, ask him to take you shopping.
Yeah.
The other thing is, with the internet, there's really no excuse now. In the old days when I started my business, it was because the internet was really just, in terms of what was out there in terms of men's style, it was more like GQ and Esquire, which are super
Yeah.
like high-end, like fashion forward stylish, options, when most guys just want to know, hey, do these jeans make my butt look good? And does the shirt make my arms look bigger?
Yeah.
And so really it's about finding clothing that accentuates your positive attributes, minimizes your perceived negatives. And if somebody's ever said, hey, that color looks good on you, wear it again, because it probably is your color, right? The other thing is monochromatic looks. A dark monochromatic look like you're wearing right now is a great way that anybody can instantly look more stylish. You can also look bigger in terms of taller, leaner, more muscular. It's a great sort of almost like visual trick when you have a dark top, dark pants, and it kind of works together seamlessly. There are so many different things you could do.
And what's your advice for, let's say, short men?
Yeah, I'm a short dude.
Yeah. How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
5'6".
In a little bit.
And a little bit. Is that because of shoes? Or
in shoes I'm 5'7.5", maybe 5'8". No, so short guys are one of the things that style and clothing and color and patterns have a dramatic impact on how you visually look.
Okay.
And so if you're a short guy, and the other thing you've got to consider, are you short and do you have a nice build?
Yeah.
Or are you short and round? Because if you're short and you have a nice body, you're not that bad in terms of, you're not that bad even if you're short and chubby.
Yeah.
You've just got to pay more attention. But the fact is, dressing in a manner that is going to, once again, make you, and draw the eye down, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're a short guy, you don't want to wear oversized clothing. Even if it is trendy, it will make you look shorter. You want to make sure that the proportions are right. If you're wearing a shirt that's coming down too long, it makes your legs look even shorter. If you're wearing pants that have a break at the ankle, or you're puddling at the ankle with extra fabric, once again, it's making your legs look short. And so if you're a short guy, it is critical that you have your pants tailored and tapered in order to basically accentuate the lines and to look clean. Also, shoes, another thing. If you're a short guy, wearing big, bulky shoes is going to make you look shorter. You want something with a more elongated toe box that's going to draw the eye down once again. In terms of shirts and color, darker colors are going to typically make you look a little bit taller. Light colors make you look bigger. So if you're somebody that basically is a small, thin man, you could wear something a lighter color that's going to basically reflect the light and make you look bigger and more muscular. And it's really just about finding clothing that fits your body and doesn't have a bunch of extra fabric, especially in the baggy midsection and also the sleeve length. If you're a short guy and your sleeves are coming down real long, this also is making your arms look super short.
Is there any specific advice for, let's say, the skinny fat Indian? Because like in India, most of the people have a body type which is skinny fat. They got like a bulge here, and then they're like skinny up top.
Yeah.
So for them,
other than working out,
okay, then
eat better.
Yeah.
I mean, diet and exercise are two of the things.
Yeah.
Once again, it's about wearing clothing that fits without being skin tight. One of the things that makes you look bad is when you do have a bit of a dad bod or you're skinny fat, and you can see how skinny your arms are and how chubby your midsection is. And so once again, it's about how the clothing drapes on you. It's also about your posture and making sure that you're carrying yourself properly.
Yeah.
And so, those two things. And once again, don't wear clothing that's skin tight. Don't wear clothing that's too big.
Regular fit would work.
Regular fit. Slim fit. The truth is slim fit doesn't mean skinny. Slim fit doesn't mean skin tight. And so slim fit simply means that instead of it being cut like a box, it's tapered slightly to follow your natural contours.
Yeah.
And so slim fit just means that they've removed some of the extra fabric in the middle of the shirt. And honestly, even if you're a heavy guy, a lot of times slim fit will work just fine.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes when you're a big guy and you wear big baggy clothing or clothing that's cut like a box, it's actually going to come untucked or make you look larger than you are.
Right. So for a big guy, would you would not recommend him wearing oversized clothing?
No.
Regular fit would be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Are you saying you disagree? Is that more of a gray area? Would you go back?
I don't know. I don't know. I would have to see the guy.
Yeah.
Because I've seen guys who look great with, fitted clothes, but then I've seen guys who might look better with more of an oversized because it's just the vibe that they're giving.
Yeah.
And of course, it would depend on the occasion. If you're tall or you're thin or you're short or you're bigger, you do not wear oversized suits.
Yeah.
Like that's one, like you just don't do that. Like you don't wear running shoes with anything apart from workout clothes.
Correct.
Right. And then apart from that, it's just other things.
Yeah.
So if he's going to a wedding, he needs to wear like a tailored suit.
Okay.
Of course. There's a new trend. People wearing Jordans with suits.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been huge in India these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think it looks great. If you can do it, yeah, absolutely, rock it. Now, don't do that on a job interview.
Of course.
But if you're going and you want to dress down a suit, absolutely, go for it. Yeah, looks great.
Seen a lot of people do that. Yeah, so tell me what makes us look old? Like, you look much younger.
Yeah.
And I'm entering my 30s, and there'll be a lot of people, when you're 20, you don't take care of skincare and those kind of things. But then once you get to 30, you start losing some hair, you see some wrinkles, you see some crow's feet out here. Then you start thinking, what are the things that make me look old? And this just doesn't have to be about skin.
Yeah.
But just generally, what are the things which makes a man old? And it's not age.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah.
Hair loss is one of the things that does make you look older, right? So does gray hair.
Yeah.
And so hair loss is one of those things that it does prematurely age you.
Yeah.
And the good news is that if you don't want to lose your hair, you don't have to. There are things and treatments and procedures now that can basically keep your hair. So hair loss is one.
Yeah. But all right, before we proceed, do you think it's worth it for, let's say, somebody wanting to get a hair transplant?
Yeah, it depends on if they want to. But one of the mistakes that guys make is they wait until it's really thin up top.
Yeah.
I actually got to go and actually witness and watch a hair transplant procedure. Fascinating. It's best when you start to thin, and then they take some, and then they transplant it. And it basically is something that, is a lot less noticeable.
Yeah.
And you can basically have a more natural look. But you probably will have to go in for a second one a little bit later. Yeah. So do I think a hair transplant's good? It depends. It depends on if you're somebody that is serious about wanting to keep it and you feel more confident with it, then absolutely. I'd say do that as opposed to wearing some type of artificial hair like a toupee or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Or just embrace it. If you want to let your hair go, bald is beautiful. There are guys that look incredible that are bald. But if you're going to lose your hair, go thin, take it short, grow some facial hair, get some cool frames. You're going to look sick. You're going to look amazing, right?
And get jagged.
Yeah, exactly. And get jacked. Jacked. But no, so hair is one of those things that makes somebody look old. Gray hair, hair loss, that makes you look old. Also, yellow teeth make you look old. Oh. So if you're somebody that wants to look youthful and young, make sure that you have white teeth because yellow teeth do make you look older. Skincare, big thing. You've got to make sure you take care of your skin, right? Because skin does show age, but not just your face, your neck as well, and your hands. You've got to take care of the skin on your body.
How do we do that? I have no idea about skincare.
Skincare?
Yeah.
Tiege Hanley.
Tiege Hanley.
Tiege Hanley. Okay, it's basic stuff. Wash your face. Morning and night, remove the oil, the dirt, the grime that builds up. Moisturize.
I do that.
Moisturize in the morning. You got to make sure that you're wearing one with an SPF of at least 20. All right. Something else that makes you look older is the sun.
Yeah.
Excessive sun exposure does make you look older. Now, if you've got brown skin or darker skin, the good news is that you look younger, typically longer than somebody who's pasty or white.
Yeah.
But the sun does age you. And so make sure that when you're moisturizing, you use an SPF. If you're going to be out exposed to the sun a lot, make sure that you're wearing sunscreen. And then, at night, put a moisturizer on before you go to bed as well. Now, as you get a little bit older, there's some other things you could do. Eye creams are, in my opinion, a good thing that everybody should use, even at a young age, to help fight dark circles, dark pigmentation, crow's feet, fine lines, because the eyes...
I think I have a lot of it.
No, not yet, old man.
Okay.
I saw you. I thought you were 50. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. No, but I mean, there are things you could do to really take care of the skin around your eye. Red eyes also make you look old. And so if you have allergies or you've got high blood pressure, get it figured out and get it checked. If they're yellow, that means something may be going on with your liver. Some other things that make you look older is smoking. Yeah. Smoking cigarettes or smoking the other stuff will prematurely age your face, also your skin. Not staying hydrated. That's a big thing that so many people neglect is proper hydration. And if you're drinking coffee, if you're drinking alcohol or energy drinks, these are all things that dehydrate you. Caffeine dehydrates you. And so if you're going to be drinking that, you need to make sure that you're drinking enough just plain water or something to replenish. You should be drinking about 100 ounces of water a day.
So for the under eye, what is the ingredient that you recommend? Like retinol, or is there some specific one? Any other ones?
So retinol is great. Retinol is one of the best things that you can use in order to basically anti-age. It also does a lot of other amazing things. It shrinks pore size. It reduces oiliness. It evens skin tone. So if you're somebody that has uneven pigment, or you've had blemishes or blackheads or pimples, and it's made your skin darker in certain areas, a retinol is going to help even everything out. It's also basically going to bring fresh new skin to the surface.
Nice.
This is amazing. All right. Now, the thing about your eyes is the skin is so delicate and so sensitive. So you've got to make sure that it stays hydrated. In terms of specific products, there are products like caffeine, like some of the like energizing like eye sticks and things that will shrink some of the bags. Typically, it has caffeine in it that will actually like shrink the capillaries and tighten everything up. But really, it's not just like one or two products. It's getting and investing in a high quality eye cream that has a lot of different botanicals, but it doesn't necessarily need to be natural. Unfortunately, a lot of people think, oh, natural is better. Well, it depends. When we started developing our skincare products for T. Shanley, the chemist asked us, we said to him, hey, can we make this natural? He said, you can, but you need to ask yourself the question, do you want it to be natural, or do you want it to work?
Yeah.
Because there have been advancements in lipid technologies and different like ingredients and compounds that really have a dramatic impact on reducing the dark circles, the dark pigmentation. And so there's really a lot of research that's coming out to really show that a good eye cream is something that every guy should be using.
Yeah. But then there's so much research around parabens and sulfates. So when you talk about eye cream and let's say I'm using something that is not natural, does it have to include parabens and sulfates? Or can it be paraben and sulfate free?
It can be paraben and sulfite free. So a lot of times when you see like natural on a package, it's a scam. You can claim something is natural as long as it has at least one ingredient that has been found in nature. So if there's water or anything in this ingredient, you can claim natural. You can't claim 100% natural, but you can say it's got natural, ingredients in there. You can make a product as natural as possible, but still make it effective. It doesn't mean you've got to put harmful EDC chemicals, parabens, sulfites in there. You can eliminate them, and it won't necessarily change the efficacy or the effectiveness of the product. It's just making it a healthier product.
Yeah. So if we were to buy a product for, let's say, skincare or shampoos and conditioners, perfumes, what are some of the ingredients that we should look for or we should stay away from?
So great ingredients in terms of hair care, because I also own a hair company called Pete and Pedro.
Yeah.
Tea tree oil is an amazing product or ingredient that's natural.
What does it do?
It basically it does a lot of things. It's an antifungal.
Okay.
It also helps reduce itchiness. It reduces buildup on your scalp. And it basically helps your scalp be healthier. Tea tree oil is an amazing antiseptic, and it's a natural product. Argan oil is another one. If you're somebody that really wants to hydrate and nourish, argan oil is like liquid gold when it comes to hydration and making sure that your hair is strong and healthy. The other thing you should look for, most guys don't do this because it's not something that we're taught, but a conditioner.
Yeah.
Shampoo and conditioners, do not ever buy a 2-in-1. They do different things.
Yeah.
And if you buy like a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, you're getting ripped off. A shampoo is to clean, it's to strip without over drying or stripping. And so you got to make sure you're using something that is paraben free, that is sulfite free, that has natural botanicals. Argan oil is an amazing nutrient that basically goes and it hydrates. But a conditioner, after you shampoo, should be used whenever you shampoo to basically smooth the hair cuticle shaft, make it stronger, healthier, and more robust and sexy. Healthier too.
Perfect. Nice.
I could talk about hair products and skincare all day, people.
So that was skincare and fashion and everything.
Fashion, skincare, hair care. What do you need?
Yeah. Now I want to know some characteristic traits that men should develop, which is like, which makes you a man. Like all this is just surface level stuff.
Yeah.
But the inside,
yeah,
like, the mindset, let's say, or the characteristic traits. What are some traits that men should develop and are absolutely crucial for you to be a man?
So it's easy just to say mentally strong, right? What does mentally strong really mean, right? Well, there are a lot of different components to it. One of the things I feel you need and to be a man, to be successful at life, is the ability to focus and work hard. It's impossible. You look at everybody that's successful at anything. What are they really good at? They're good at focusing and working hard on what they are trying to succeed at or be good at. So focus is one of those things that I feel is incredibly important, even when you're not getting accolades, even when people aren't cheering for you or dropping thumbs up on the video. Have they dropped the thumbs up? Have you dropped the thumbs up on this video yet? Exactly.
They need to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. I feel you need to be also like a good communicator. I think communication is one of those things that doesn't get a lot of press or isn't like super sexy to talk about, but having the ability to basically express yourself and also be empathetic towards somebody else, I think is incredibly important, because if you're not, then I think you're missing out on one of the key components to healthy relationships, and that is just being able to, engage and be empathetic and supportive, and also be able to get your point across and share what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Some other ones, what does it mean to be a man? It means, self-reliant also. If you're relying on other people for your self-esteem, if you're relying on other people for financially, like you're relying on, and I'm saying like after the age of like 30, like I get it, like you're coming up and you're earning and learning and all that. And I understand culturally it's very different as well, because typically in certain cultures, like in Indian culture, don't you typically live with your parents like until you get married?
No, even afterwards.
Even afterwards,
So
it's very,
the entire family stays together. Mostly like if it's like two brothers, both of them get married, it's the brother and the wife, the second brother and the wife, and the parents living together in a big house.
It's a party.
Yeah, it's a party. And it's culturally like that in India, because it almost feels like you're abandoning your parents. It's like here, it's more like you need to get out. Like your parents will tell you to get out and make your own. There, your parents don't want you to leave, because culturally you feel like you're abandoning them.
Interesting.
Yeah. So for old age, and I feel
there's
pros and cons there.
Okay,
is where I stand. The pros is that, let's say when you have kids, it's really nice for the kids to grow up with grandparents.
Sure.
Financially, it makes more sense. You don't need 3 houses, you need one. You've got 2 cars, the 3 families share, or 1 car that your parents and you can drive, and everything is there. It's just better that way. So, a lot of pros, but then the cons is you never develop a sense of identity.
Yeah.
You never be your own man. You never get out of the house to really explore.
So let's throw another one. So loyalty. Okay. Loyalty is also something. And just being a man of your word, having integrity. These are all things that you think would be commonplace, but in today's world, I think it's getting a little bit more difficult. And the other thing is, especially where I live in the US, I feel like we have lost a lot of our male role models, and a lot of men are growing up without strong role models in the family, and so, or in the house. And the problem with this is that you never learn really the little things like chivalry and what it's like to really be a man. And so we rely on people on social media in order to get sort of our parental sort of itch scratched to see, oh, this is what we're supposed to be like, and it's Andrew Tate, or it's this or it's that, and I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that you need to be very, very careful what you feed your brain. And that's something that I've gotten to be a lot more cautious with. When you think about food, right? If you want a good body, you need to make sure that you eat right? Yeah. Well, the stuff that we feed our brain with social media and all the things that we are consuming is something you need to pay attention to. What you're consuming, how much of it you're consuming, because it does have a detrimental impact if you're consuming too much of the wrong food for your brain.
Yeah.
Is that a gray area?
No, definitely. I think everything is a gray area, because there are pros.
I think that could be the name of this podcast, the Alpha M Gray Podcast.
Gray area podcast, yeah. Because there are a lot of role models coming up, a lot of people that we're looking up to, but it's dangerous also in a sense that, people in their younger years, which could be the teenage years, they're looking up to people that might not be good for them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with the internet. You could say 90 good things, but then if those 10 things that you say are wrong, that could really fuck someone up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with everyone. I'm pretty sure like there's so much stuff that I say would not be good advice for a lot of people, but I'm good I try to say it with my best intentions.
Yeah.
But still, it might not be great advice for somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. Finally, Tell me about your Shark Tank experience. It's been a while, but we're coming back to that because I saw your video with Kevin.
Yeah. So
again.
Shark Tank I've been on twice. I was on.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I've seen one episode.
Oh, two. There was I was on season 4 and season 7.
Okay, so how did that go?
Okay,
Let's
so
start with 4 and 7.
I think it was season 4. I was selling an information product called the Style System. If
Okay.
you search Shark Tank Alpha M Style System, so I was one of only, I think, like 3 or 4 people that have been on twice.
Okay.
So the first time I was selling a DVD series that taught guys how to dress.
Yeah.
Horrible. It went terrible. They hated me. Or they
Yeah.
didn't hate me. They liked me. They just didn't like my business. And this was back years ago. And it was DVDs. It was just a bad idea. I was selling it for like $300. It was like an info product. And I was on Shark Tank and I was super excited. I'm like, okay, the Sharks didn't give me a deal, but I'm going to be on national television and I'm
Yeah.
going to sell $1 million worth of units. The night it aired, one person bought. 8 million people watched it. One person bought it. So I felt like a huge loser and
Yeah.
failure. So I'm like, I got to do it again. And so, but from that, I learned a valuable lesson. I needed a better product.
True.
And so back to the drawing board, I created a hair company, Pete and Pedro. And the beautiful thing with that is that it's a product that people consume. They use it. They keep consuming it. And so it was just a better, and it was also a lower price point product at
Yeah.
$20 a unit. And so started the company and I applied again and they said, sure, we'll have you back on.
Okay.
And so I went on the second time and I crushed it. I did a really good job. And I'm
I
tooting
saw
my
that
own
one,
horn.
yeah.
I did a good job.
Yeah.
And so the thing that happened was nobody wanted to invest in the product. They wanted to invest in me, the
Alpha
influence.
M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't need help with that. I need help with like, growing this business. And at the time, I believe that business was doing around like $40,000 or $50,000 in sales a month, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And the thing that was so frustrating for me was even like if anybody else that wasn't a YouTuber would have went on and be like, here's my hair product business or here's my whatever business, and you're doing $500,000 a year,
Yeah.
they would have been on that like immediately. Yes. But because the real value wasn't in the product, it was in me. That's what they ended up wanting to invest in. And so when I realized that I wasn't going to get a deal with this hair product business, and when Barbara offered me, I think it was like $100,000 for 10% of the Alpha M business on the show, I took it. But then as soon as I got done, I basically said, hey, thanks, this isn't going to work. And I basically backed out of the agreement. And most of the deals you see that get done on Shark Tank, that's actually what happens. I don't think most deals actually get done. But it was amazing. And so from that, I was in a good position. I met Kevin O'Leary.
I think Kevin was a bit rude on the episode.
Kevin's job is to be rude.
His
on
job
Shark
is
Tank.
to be rude on Shark
Yeah,
Tank.
Shark Tank.
Correct.
If you're a business, if you want to start a business, there is no better free tutorial or school out there than Shark Tank. And that's the thing that I remember, and that struck me so much when I went out to film in Los Angeles.
How did it make you feel though? Like
Scared. When I was doing it, I was so nervous. Yeah.
Oh, and when dealing with Kevin.
No, that was no big deal. Like, and that was the thing that, like, because I was used to I knew that I couldn't get pushed around. I knew that I needed to stand up for myself, because you'll watch Shark Tank, and people get owned. And the thing that's really like you don't notice because they don't show this, but it's all in the editing. So I was out there the second time pitching for 1 hour and 10 minutes. And they cut it down to like a 10-minute spot.
Segment.
So you're out there, you don't have water to drink. So when you're watch everybody lick their lips. You're nervous, and so it was amazing. I mean, it was an amazing experience just to be able to go and talk to these very successful people. But yeah, it was nerve-wracking, and it was super. It was very proud. That was one of the things that I'm most proud of myself for getting on Shark Tank twice. And then someday maybe I'll get to go and be a shark. I need to sell some businesses first, though.
How many years has it been since the second time you were on Shark Tank?
Ooh, so I started. I think maybe 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
And now recently I saw a video of yours with Kevin O'Leary on your channel.
Yeah, they approached me about being on his channel. And because Kevin started a YouTube channel and they wanted to basically interview me and do like a question and answer with Kevin. And so I said, sure,
Yeah.
I'd be happy to. So they flew to Atlanta. And
amazing.
I met them, and then I said, well, since you're here, why don't I take you shopping and give you a makeover for the Alpha M channel? And so I actually took Kevin to the mall, shopping mall, and got him a new outfit. And then after COVID happened, they were starting to travel again, and they said, hey, Kevin's going to be in Atlanta. Would you like to film another video? And I said, sure. Why don't we go, and I'll take him to my warehouse and show him basically what happened since Shark Tank, because at the time I think the business was doing around $500,000, and so now the business is going to be doing about $10 million this year.
Wow.
And so
That's Pete and Pedro.
Pete and Pedro, yeah. My skincare business is much bigger than that.
Tiege Hanley's bigger than that.
Much bigger than that. So yeah. But it's all about profit margin. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all about profit margin. Big doesn't mean profitable.
Yeah. No, but you'll be profitable. So
yes.
Are you profitable with the
yes,
businesses?
Yes. Because I am also a huge fan of don't overextend yourself. Yeah. And, do not live above your means when it comes to, personally, but also your business. You've got to make sure you're operating it profitably, because if not, it doesn't work. The numbers don't work. Even if you take money in terms of equity, or you earn money through some type of investment, if you're not figuring out how to acquire a customer for a profitable amount of money, or you don't know that lifetime value is not going to be, you've got to be profitable. And
True.
So it's better to grow slowly and build a solid business, as opposed to just grow super fast, not profitably. It's not a sustainable model. And so I am a huge fan of be more conservative as opposed to optimistic, and grow slower, profitably versus fast and sloppy.
That's amazing, man. It's good to hear that.
Yeah. Grow slow and steady. Profit. It's not a dirty word. It's critical.
And then now recently I saw another video of, I think it was on Kevin's channel, where he was promoting Tiege Hanley.
Yeah.
So from a time where investment was a difficult deal, now we've got those sharks.
I'm paying him to exactly
promote a product. And when I saw his video with you, it felt more like a personal win, because I was like, somebody from the YouTube community is just coming full circle again. We're back there where we started, exactly where we wanted to be. And it's like, if you don't get a deal, or you don't take the deal, the type of deal that you want, you can still make it. Yeah. You can still be successful.
Oh, absolutely. It's just you got to keep your head down, keep working, don't get discouraged. And one of the things that separates successful entrepreneurs from non-successful is, when you're an entrepreneur, the one thing I tell people is, you've got to be prepared to be punched in the face every day. Yeah. It is hard. If it was easy, everybody would be successful entrepreneurs. It's hard. It takes you not getting discouraged, even though you're going to have bad days, even though bad things are going to happen, and you're going to have to face challenges on a daily basis. This is life. But it's about the people that are able to endure it, get back up, and keep moving forward. And sometimes the wins aren't fast. It's not as sexy as you see a lot of these online entrepreneurial gurus saying, oh, all you got to do is this, and you're going to be vacationing and making millions of dollars. It's bullshit. It's a lie. Don't believe it. It's about the fundamentals. It's about building a strong, successful business slowly, getting up when you get knocked down, and keep moving forward. And also knowing when to stop. If you are doing something, and Kevin always will say, if something's not working in 3 years, it's time to shoot the dog behind the barn, because time is your most valuable asset, and we only have so much. And every single day, you determine and decide how you're investing it. And you've got to make sure that you're investing it wisely.
Yeah. That was amazing, man. That's
it?
Yes. Pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You guys rock. Thank you so much. This is amazing.
Yeah. Aaron Marino, Alpha M, guys, make sure you check out his channel. I mean, of course, you would have already, but
someday I'm coming to India, and I expect to have a pretty big meetup.
We're going to do a pretty big one if you're ever in India. If you like the podcast, make sure you hit the like button, and you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Alpha M's channel as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye. All right. Perfect.
That was
good,
amazing,
man.
Bro. That was great.
Yeah. Great talking to you. Love your energy.